It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome, welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. And we do that in a very specific way. We ask you to go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and click that Contact Us button, write us a note, and tell us what is going on in your life that really remotely even touches your money. Because many of the decisions we're making, whether they are career decisions or housing decisions, or maybe helping out a relative, maybe you've just come out of Thanksgiving and you really want to help someone out and you want to be a good person and you want to know, is it okay? Is it going to derail your own financial plans? Whatever is going on in your financial life, we want to help you. So again, jillonmoney.com, that is the website. Hit that Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live on the program, all you need to do is just check the box, and Mark Talercio, who is the best executive producer in the whole wide world, he'll do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. That comes out every single Friday, a fabulous tune-up for this program. And if you've missed this program or any part of it, you can always go to the website, jillonmoney.com, and you'll see there's a radio tab. Maybe you can just catch up and see the part that you've missed. It's very easy to do. Okay, let's get the show started. We are going to talk to Jake, who's on the line from Georgia. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hi, Jill. Doing okay. Thank you.
Great. What brings you to us? What's going on?
Well, my primary thinking is whether it would be wise for me to do a Roth conversion this year. I keep hearing when I listen to your show regularly that you recommend to many people to start depleting their tax-deferred retirement accounts or the equivalent of a Roth conversion. I always thought that the smart move was to just wait until to use that money last. But I'm wondering about the strategy and if it's appropriate for me to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Jake, how old are you?
72, will be 73 next year. Next month, which is relevant for this conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so 73 next month. And are you married or single?
Single or divorced. Divorced.
Okay. And grown kids that are okay and fine and on their own?
No kids.
No kids. Okay. So it's just Jake.
That's
Jake,
right.
How much money do you have in tax deferred accounts?
About 1.7 million.
Oof. Okay. Are you still working full time?
No.
Okay.
I'm inching towards retirement.
I like inching. How's it been?
Not quick enough.
I like it. When is actual retirement?
Sometime I'm self-employed. All I'm doing in the process of retiring is selling some houses that I have left from my inventory. So I've got some leftover real estate to get rid of, which I will do in the next 3 to 5 years, which is also relevant to this conversation.
Yeah, very interesting. So are you a realtor or just an investor? Like what have you been doing?
I started buying and selling houses, and I would keep some of them and manage them. And so I built up a house inventory.
Interesting.
And, as my career comes to an end, I'm selling off my remaining inventory.
So in the next this is also important. So if I look at the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to have some tax issues. Is that right? Because when you're selling off, if they're investments, there is going to be some recapture of the depreciation as well as capital gains. Is that what's going to happen?
That is correct. It'll be, yes. And I will have long-term capital gains boosting my income over the next 3 to 5 years.
Interesting. Whew. I mean, it's a good wrinkle, right? It's good to have money. How much money do you have outside of a tax deferred environment? Do you have either a brokerage account or a big fat savings account?
I have a brokerage account with a couple of brokerage accounts with a total of about $1.5 million. And I have a Roth IRA with about $900,000.
What are you going to do with all this money?
Well,
what are you going to do? Are you just going to live large? Like, how much money do you spend?
Well, as of late, I spend $6,000 or $7,000 a month. I want to spend more because I want to live better than I've been living
Yes.
till now. So that's my goal. I think I do have enough, but I want to sort of maximize it. And
For what?
well, pay as little taxes as I can. You know,
Who cares? You could spend all. You're never going to spend all this money.
What are the remaining properties worth?
Yeah, let's get that number.
they're probably about $1.5 million.
Come on.
What?
You're in such good shape, but you're going to have $1.5 million coming in, of which there's going to be a chunk of tax. So are you saying $1.5 million net of your taxes?
No, that's before the taxes.
So you're going to have to pay $500,000 in taxes, no?
That is correct.
Pretty good guess though, huh? Okay, so $1 million net. Here's the problem with your tax deferred account. Your age. You sound great and healthy, but now the government's going to force you to start taking money out of that retirement account, right?
That is right. I can start this year, but before the end of next month, or I can push 2 of them into next year.
I don't really. What's your taxable income for this year, for 24?
It's probably, I have a house that's going to close next week. If it closes, my taxable income will probably be about 200. Now, 150 of that will be a long-term capital gain from the sale of that house. The rest is rental income and other miscellaneous.
What do you think it'll be next year? Same?
It depends on what house or houses I sell. They all are different values. So that's kind of a big unknown, which makes this tricky.
Yeah, sure does. And I hate for us to get so freaked out about taxes that you don't take the money off the table when it's there for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get so freaked. Like, you pay the taxes, big deal. Like, tax rates right now, I think that what we know is that your tax rates are probably going to stay about the same. But as a single guy, you know, you're looking at a top bracket of 24% on that 200,000, about, right?
Where does the next bracket begin?
32% is at 191,951. Okay, you could say, look, I don't want to get too cute here. I'll pay it 32%. I just don't know. Like, I would tend to say, let's take 2 next year. But if you're going to sell more homes next year, I mean, it's what do we think is more likely, that you'll sell the same 200 grand? You come up with like 200 grand, of which 150 is long term. Do you think it's probably going to be that, or do you think it's as likely that it would be twice that?
It just so happens that one of my most valuable houses is on the market now. And if it closes next year, it may have it's just impossible to tell, but it may have a $300,000 or $400,000 gain.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's great. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. It's more likely that it happens next year, right?
Yes, that
So
house.
I am going to say, let's do this. I think for this year, 2024, you should push into the 32% bracket. We'll get back to Jake in just a minute. If you would like to join us on the air, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. The Jill on Money Show will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here trying to help you make better or less bad financial decisions. And we do that by answering your questions, but also sometimes just riffing on things going on in the news and maybe something that you might not have thought about. So if something is going on, or maybe you read a headline and it's confusing to you, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. That is part of the show. When we say take the mystery out of your finances or your financial life, some of that mystery has to do with digesting the fire hose of information that comes at you every single day. So just go to JillOnMoney.com, click that Contact Us button, write us a note, and we will get it. We'll read it on the air. Or if you'd like to join us live, happy to do that as well. Now, while you're on the website, why don't you check out our service called Jill on Money Live? This is so cool because by joining us for just $35 a year, and it's just $35 for the next 12 months, actually, because we're going to raise the price. Not by a lot. Don't get scared. But the Jill on Money Live service provides you with access to quarterly live webinars. There's some other great interviews that are there, and also the back catalog of those webinars. So $35 gets you 12 months or 4 quarterly webinars with Jill on Money Live. And I think that's pretty much a bargain when you think about all the other subscriptions that you're paying for out there. Now, of course, if you don't want to spend any money, that's fine too. There is a ton of free stuff that lives on our website. There are 2 podcasts. There are videos. There are resources that are free. So plenty of stuff available without you having to fork over even one dime. I mean, the only thing you have to do is just sort of listen to the commercials for this show. But even that's a big deal. It's not so bad. If you would like to get in touch with us, again, everything lives on JillOnMoney.com. That is our website. You might as well bookmark it. You know you're going to come back. Right now, let's get back to Jake from Georgia.
I have to decide whether to take the RMD this year or next year.
You're going to do it this year.
Okay.
You're going to do it this year. I just want to see whether you should do your RMD this year or whether you should be doing more than your RMD. You're going to have to take out 60-ish, okay?
That's right.
Right? And so the question is, should we take out more than 60? And I think the answer is probably, I don't know, you're going to have to just do 60, I think. Otherwise, you pop into 35%. It's almost like I want you to take out your RMD. Definitely do it for this year. So that's yes. But until you unload these properties, I'm not sure I'd do more than your RMD right now, because then he's really popping up into a high tax bracket. Can we get these darn things sold sooner rather than later?
Sure. I could.
I mean, next year you're going to be in, if you sell this valuable house, you're going to be in the 35% bracket. It's going to be for reals. Okay. But so what?
You're talking about taking out more. Is that the equivalent of doing a Roth conversion?
Pretty much. The thing is, you could do a Roth conversion. Okay, here's the deal. If you want to convert, you're going to be converting at the 35% bracket. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you take your RMD out, your distribution, your RMD does not count as a conversion. It's like that. You can't use that as the conversion. You have to take the RMD and pay tax on it. So that 60 grand, you're going to pay tax on it, right? Which may or may not, sort of brings you to the top of the 32%.
There's Social Security, I'm assuming?
I've got a little bit.
How much?
$2,100 a month.
All right, not too bad. So what I think is going to happen is if you want to convert, we are talking about converting at a 35% bracket because, again, you're already at the top of 32. Because once you get that, so this year you're going to have your 200 plus 60, right, for your RMD. Now, not all of this is income, but still you're going to be in a sizable bracket. Do you work with a tax preparer or not?
Yes.
You can work with this person. I think there's 2 things to consider. Okay, you ready? Big picture. These are, first of all, you're in like the lucky club. Like you got a bunch of money, you saved money, you can spend as much as you'd like. You're in great shape. Okay. Could you use either a certified financial planner or a CPA to help guide you on how to best manage your tax liability over the next 5 or 10 years? Yeah. Now, I don't know, like if your CPA is like somebody who loves doing this stuff, then you might say, look, I just want your help in helping and in like looking at this and thinking that, from 24 through let's call it for 4 more years, I think I'm going to have this tax regime stays in place. And maybe you guys get together and you sort of start looking at the income generated from the sale of these over the next 3 to 5 years of these homes and layer on top of that the RMDs and whether or not you want to actually convert. I just think you're going to have a lot of income for the next few years. So converting is fine, but you're converting at a high rate. And if you, and again, it's just you, and we don't have to worry about leaving a legacy. So, are you charitable in any way?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Have you ever considered a donor advised fund?
I have considered.
There's two things to consider: a donor advised fund or a qualified charitable distribution. You can take up to $100,000 a year out of your IRA, out of that tax deferred account, and send it to a charity every year, or 105 this year, I think. That's another way to kind of push. If you feel charitable, I would definitely do that.
Am I understanding you to say that I'm not sure I got this right, that the Roth conversion has a different tax consequence than just pulling out extra money? And say we talk $100,000 Roth is different from a $100,000 distribution from my tax deferred account.
It's the same tax treatment. It's taxable income.
Right.
Okay. So if you have 60, but the government is going to say to you, you have to pull 60 grand out no matter what. That's your RMD.
Right.
That cannot be used as a converted asset.
I understand.
Okay. So anything on top of that we wish to convert is going to be taxable income to you that converts into your Roth. That all I'm saying is once we get beyond the top of this bracket, this 32% bracket, you're at the 35% bracket. You can convert money there, but it's unclear to me whether that's the smartest thing to do or not. You have so much money that it's hard for me to get psyched about doing one thing or the other.
Well, I was originally coming to you because so many people you recommend that they start depleting their tax deferred accounts. And it occurred to me in preparing for this conversation that I'm going to be depleting my tax deferred account automatically with my RMDs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So
the reason why a lot of we talk about that with other people, it's like if you push the clock back, Jake, and it was 10 years ago, right? If you were 60 to 72, we would have said, let's start getting some of this money out because it's going to compound. It's going to end up being $1.7 million. Then you're not going to have any choice over the matter. You're going to be forced to take $60, $70, $80,000 out every year. You're there already.
Yeah, but by the way, if you're just doing RMDs, you're not going to deplete it.
No.
Depends on how long I live.
The annual growth is going to exceed your RMD, probably.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And who cares to some extent? So I think that you should maybe talk to your CPA about this. If you'd like, we can certainly give you the name of because I think if you're talking about allocation as well as managing this tax situation with the sale of the homes, it is a more complex situation, and we can get you some names. There's not a problem with that. But I do think that you would be well served by having a strategy that you feel comfortable with. And it doesn't have to be a forever strategy, by the way. It really doesn't. It could be like, hey, guess what? You know what? This is what it is today. And we don't have to worry about years and years in the future. Okay? So get your estate docs done. We'll send you a couple names and make sure you give a lot of money away. What a fun thing. You're like Brewster's Millions. You're giving away lots of money, and that's one way to reduce your RMDs in the future. How about that? Are you trying to plan with a lot of unknown variables like Jake? That is most of us. Give us a holler. We can help you out. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are answering your financial questions right now. Let's go talk to Barry, who's on the line from Montana.
So I have a question for you, and it's kind of loaded. I'm 67. I'll be 68 in April. Have yet to draw Social Security. My wife will turn 64 in December. She's my sugar mama. She's a cardiac rehab nurse. So she keeps us afloat and stuff. God bless her. And I'm just wondering, should I take Social Security now, hold off until I'm 70? If I take it now, I can invest it. I don't really need it. What is your advice, Jill?
So, Barry, tell us a little bit about you guys. So your wife is still working. How much does she earn?
6 figures.
How many?
Lower six.
Like 100 and something or 200 and something?
I think combined we're about 120, 130.
And how much do you guys need to live on? What's the actual monthly need approximately?
Between 5,000 and 5,500.
And how much longer do you think she'll work? Is she just going to work for another year? Does she like what she does?
Yeah, she loves what she does, but she's ready, I think, to call it a career at least and move on. So, yeah, no, she's a great nurse. And I think she'll work until the end of 2025. She'll start retirement in 2026, possibly. Maybe she'll work longer than that.
Do either of you have pension benefits?
I have a $400 a month pension. That's it.
What can you do for $400 a month? It's like a gym membership.
You can pay your Medicare.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
How did you save for retirement in your work life? Did you have a 401k?
Yes, I have close to 401k and Roth and all that. I'm close to $1 million, a little bit over.
Great. And what about your wife? Does she have a plan through her employer?
Yes, she does.
And how much is in there?
I am not sure. Our finances are separate, which is probably not on your wish list, that we should combine them. But,
is this a second marriage?
Yes, it is. And we've always kept the finances separate. We split everything.
That's
I say there are
interesting,
three things that couples get in arguments about: parenting, money, and sex.
Do you think it's in that order?
Not necessarily. As the kids get older, you don't argue about it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't care so much.
So we don't have any arguments. That's a great thing. She does her thing and I do mine.
Okay. Tell us about the difference in your Social Security benefit. So if you were to claim at 67 now, what's the benefit right now that you would receive?
At 67, I believe I'd receive $3,600 or $3,700, or maybe right now, next year, I think it goes up to about $4,000. Then when I hit 69, it'll be 43 or 4,400, and at 70, it'll be 47, 4,800.
Do you have longevity? Do you have any condition that would make me think that, he's going to not be able to make it, or everything good?
Everything's good. Yeah. My father lived to be 89, and my grandparents on my mom's side were 92 and 90.
So that's great. The argument to wait to claim until age 70 is that you will receive almost 8% more a year. Obviously, you go from 36, 37 to you get an extra $1,000 or $1,100. And one of the reasons that's kind of nice for someone in your situation is that there is this consistent income on which there is a COLA, cost of living adjustment every year. And so that will continue for your whole life. And the reason why I asked you about health, some people said to me, why does that matter? Because if you are in poor health or if you don't have assets, there is a sense of maybe I should take the money today, not to invest it so much because I need it and I won't live long enough to make that extra money, the money I've foregone, worth it. But I think in your case, it probably is worth it. At this point, even though you guys keep your finances separate, when you say you make between $120,000 and $130,000 together, I'm going to guess that she's the lion's share of that. How much are you earning part-time?
Yeah. She's the lion's share of that.
And so I'm thinking that, if she's going to work another full year, there's definitely no reason to claim that then, right?
No.
And then the other question I have is when you said you had close to $1 million in between pre-tax and Roth, is it tilted more towards pre-tax rather than Roth?
Yeah.
How much is pre-tax right now?
707 to 750.
Okay.
And another 250 in Roth.
So maybe the game plan, and again, the only reason why it's good to have your finances combined is that just understanding where's the money coming from, what's the overall strategy, because are you filing your taxes married filing jointly?
Yeah, we file together.
Okay. So if you're filing together, you are together. So you can keep your finances as separate as you want. As far as I'm concerned, you're together.
Thank you.
So here is my game plan for
Okay.
you. Don't take Social Security yet. I would wait till I'm 70. Your wife's going to retire at the end of next year, right? And so maybe what happens is in 2026, you have like basically 2 more years after that.
Right.
Where I would, if I were you, start taking some of the money out of your pre-tax account to either live on or just to have. Because do you have any brokerage account assets, any other money besides the 2 pots of the pre-tax and Roth money for that you have? And I assume it's mostly pre-tax for your wife. Is there other money as well?
No.
Okay. So one thing that we could do is right now, married filing jointly, your top tax bracket is 22%. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm just going to give you round numbers. It's going to be more than this, but generally that bracket means that you could go up to $200,000 in income, maybe a little bit more because you're probably claiming the standard deduction, and you could pull that money out of your 401k over the next couple of years. So like maybe it's 150 grand a year for the next 2 years in 26 and 27. So you get that money out as you are in a lower tax bracket, right? Because when she retires at 65,
right,
she won't get a pension, right?
No.
Okay. So now your tax bracket goes down, but what you're going to do is you're going to say, no worries, honey. Even though we keep our finances separate, you've been carrying the load for a little bit here. Yeah. So I'm going to take 150 or 180 grand out of my pre-tax account in 2026 and in 2027. We're going to live our lives and we're going to start building up our non-retirement assets. We'll get back to Barry in just a minute. If you'd like to join us, go to JillOnMoney.com.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get back to Barry from Montana. When my Social Security starts at age 70, when I have that extra money that's coming in, I'll pull out a little bit less money every year from my 401k, try to get as much money out before the government forces me to take that out when I turn 75. Because at 75, your required minimum distribution is going to kick in. The government's going to say, hey, Barry, let's just pretend at that time you've taken a bunch of money out of the 401k, you've lived on it. And now the government's going to say, okay, well, now you got to take out some more money. You got to take 3.6% of whatever's left in the account. And so you're going to be forced to take money out. I think between your Social Security, the money that you pull out of your retirement account in terms of either an RMD or whatever you withdraw, and eventually your wife's Social Security, you guys are golden.
Which, by the way, Jill, she says she's going to draw immediately, even though it's before her full retirement age, because she does not have longevity on her side.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And so between those sources of income, you should be good. You really should be good. Yeah. But waiting for you makes more sense, for sure.
So you would draw out of the 401k first before the Roth IRA. The Roth would be the last bucket you would pull from.
Correct. Because that money has already been taxed. Let it ride. No implication. And the government is going to force you to take that pre-tax money out. It's going to force her as well. But if she's going to retire at 65, between 65 and 75, she also has an opportunity to take some of the money out. But I wouldn't worry about it so much if I'm her. I mean, I don't know how much is in there. If there's millions of dollars in there, then we should probably look at it. But you don't need that much money to live on.
Yeah. Jill, would you convert some of the 401k to a Roth IRA?
Well, you have no money to pay for the conversion. That's the problem. So what we're essentially doing is we're side skipping a conversion and we are just pulling the money out. You don't need to convert. You just want to No. You're just going to pull the money out.
Okay.
Because unless you have $1 million sitting around in a savings account you haven't told me about.
No.
What's your house worth?
Our house is worth $450. The only debt we have is the mortgage. We owe about $300,000, but we just purchased this about 18 months ago.
What's the mortgage interest rate?
It's below 6. I bought some points down, so it is below 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the only property, right?
Yeah, that's the only property. That's the only debt we have, period.
Okay. And you got some money, just safe money in an emergency reserve?
Yeah, I have a little over 6 figures, about 130.
Okay. That sounds good. So, essentially, if you had said to me, oh, Jill, I have $1 million sitting in savings, then I would start talking to you about converting. We don't have to worry so much about a conversion because I want you to have some liquidity. I want you to have access to money. Mm-hmm. Sure, you could potentially pull money out of the Roth, but since the government's going to force you to take money out of that 401, that pre-tax account,
yes,
I'd rather get a jump on it and do it and control your tax liability. So I think you're in very good shape. Now, because you said second marriage, do you guys have updated estate documents?
No.
So do you have kids from first marriages?
Yeah, my all adults now in their 30s.
Okay, but you need to put something down on paper because I'm not familiar with the estate law in the state of Montana, but maybe you'd want your kids to get some money in addition to your wife. Yeah. If that's the case, you got to put it down on paper.
Well, I love the thing you did on transfer of death. I learned that from you guys, so thank you.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Yeah, it's very good.
TOD. But, even just to make sure, you have kids, not every kid should necessarily, you can be equitable without being equal. Maybe one kid needs a little more than the other, but you want to write a document to make that happen.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does your wife work for a big institution or a practice?
She works for a hospital.
Maybe she should just check with the hospital. Sometimes they have a benefit of legal services. Check and see, because you could, if you wanted to, maybe you could use that. I don't know. You might as well check.
We have dropped the ball on that. We've got to get a will and everything in place.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do.
Even then, my father passed away almost 2 years ago, and he had it laid out beautifully, and there were some roadblocks along the way.
Isn't it terrible?
Yeah.
It's like until you do it yourself, you're like, I know what a pain in the neck it is.
Some of these companies are horrible to deal with.
Yeah, I know. And getting the information and, even I had to settle an estate in New York, and supposedly New York has a very good probate process, but it was just backed up after COVID and it was a mess. So it's hard. Better to get something down on paper. And besides that, talk to your wife about the financial stuff. I know you can be separate, but you should still know about it. You really should. You should both be aware of what the total financial situation is, because you are really together. It doesn't mean you have to give your money to each other. You don't have to leave your money to each other. But for the time that you guys are both on this earth, you are going to be linked financially simply because of the tax situation. So you should probably have a conversation about that with one another, okay?
And she's the beneficiary on all my stuff with my kids secondary for my 401k Roth.
She, as you said, she is the one who's giving you health insurance, and to be married to somebody who is a nurse, that's a pretty big benefit right there.
Sugar mama.
Sugar Montana mama. Hey, Barry, thank you so much for getting in touch with us. It's Jill on Money. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. We are here answering financial questions, helping to guide you, mentor you. We are not wagging our fingers at you. We are listening to what you say. We are hearing those questions, and we are doing so without judgment. So if you have something going on in your life, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. Of course, if you are a little shy, that's okay. We answer emails. Let's actually do that right now. This is from Luke, who writes, what should estate documents and a simple will for a small estate cost, and how do I vet the firm? I live in Arizona, and I've got a condo that's worth $170,000 with a remaining mortgage balance of $38,000. There's a small IRA of $2,000, a brokerage account of $80,000, and $28,000 in a bank account. Okay, Luke, this does not seem complicated at all. Now, I'm assuming that you are not married, but if you are, this changes a little bit. The first thing to remember is that when you have an IRA, for example, that passes by contract to somebody else. So you'll name a beneficiary. Now, the cool thing is that you can pretty much do the same thing with a brokerage account and a bank account. You can have the organization retitle that account to a transfer on death account. And that would mean that you just name a beneficiary and that person would receive the asset directly. As far as the cost, this seems like a completely easy peasy type of plan. So I don't know, maybe it's going to be $1,000, $2,000. You'll need a will, you'll need a power of attorney, you'll need a healthcare proxy. In terms of vetting, I usually just go to somebody I trust. Maybe it's a CPA in town or friends of yours who may have done this themselves. I always think a direct referral is pretty much what is the best way to go about this, because you and I as non-lawyers, we don't know what we're talking about. So just make sure these are qualified estate planning attorneys, or just go online and do it. All right, you're listening to Jill on Money, and we'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money show. We are here answering your financial questions. Let's kick off the hour. We're going to Kay, who is on the line from Northern California. Hello, Kay. How are you? It's very mysterious with your one initial.
Hello, Jill. Hello, Mark. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course. So what's going on?
We are in the process of, we're putting our retirement plan in place.
Okay.
We are looking to retire potentially in the next maybe 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
And we've accumulated enough assets, I think, to allow us to do that. And ideally, I just want to be able to have a second set of eyes taking a look at what we've got.
All right. I love it. Who's the we in this, Kay? Is there a spouse?
My wife.
Okay. And are you both working full time?
We are currently.
Okay. So how much do you guys earn?
We have a W-2 of $42,600 each.
40. That's funny. Both?
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Enterprise.
I have to say that's a little bit strange, and I love it. That's hysterical. Okay,
there is a reason for that, and we can get into it if you like.
You guys, because you guys are working at the same place. Was it love in the workplace?
It's the same company. We own the company. We started
I see.
Together.
Okay, so do you have employees?
We do. We've got
how many?
6.
Wow, that's impressive. And so that's your W-2, but do you also get some sort of dividend or profit or something like that?
K1 money, because we are an S Corp. We usually get that at the end of the year, and it depends. It could go up, it could go down, but I would say that probably the between the two of us,
Mm-hmm.
It's about $100,000 a year.
Okay. And does the company have a retirement plan in place?
We do. We currently started a simple IRA
Mm-hmm.
because the previous solo 401k that we had did not allow us to provide the incentive to our employees.
Right.
So we put that aside, and then now we've got a simple IRA.
Okay. How much money is in the old solo 401k? You can do a combined or each, whatever's easier for you.
There's a little bit of a twist to that. We took the money out of the 401k
Mm-hmm.
and put it into a regular or traditional IRA.
Okay. Sure. You rolled it over. That's
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
And
so the traditional, how much is in there?
it's about 1.7
Okay. Between the two of you.
between the two of us.
Okay. Got it. All traditional, not been taxed yet, right?
Has not been taxed yet. Correct.
Okay. Any Roth assets?
We do. We have a Roth each, one of us,
Mhm.
and it's about a $300,000 combined.
Okay. Got it. And in the simple, sounds like that's fairly new. So what's the balance if you added both of yours?
It's about 30,000.
Now, is that it for the retirement assets, a traditional IRA, a Roth, and the simple?
We also, I don't know if you want to consider the health savings account or
Yeah,
retirement
sure.
account. So it's about 15. And
Okay.
then there's also a brokerage account.
Yes.
And then the brokerage account currently sits at about 950.
Oh, that's good.
We have an emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
A high yield savings account is approximately 85,000.
And do you have some kids or no kids? What do we got?
have a kid, and our kid is currently in college, and she has a 529 that is currently fully funded.
Oh, great.
She could go to undergrad and grad school. That's just about 208 right now.
What? Wow. Is she in state school right now or private?
She is in state.
Is that why there's so much money in there that she's like, I'll go do state and then I'll save some of the money for grad? Did you have that conversation?
I think that it was very organic in how it all came about.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the entire time that she was in lower school, it was a private school. And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually she went to a private school up in the northeast and northwest, rather. And then it was too big. It was too big of a school. So she decided to go to a smaller school, that's where she is now.
That's amazing. Is it your belief that she'll finish up there? And there could be leftover money if she doesn't go to grad school, right?
That is true. And we had a conversation because she does have a Roth account and she has a brokerage account and she has a health savings account. So we talked about the fact that maybe if there is money left over after she has finished her grad school, she could usually move that money to her Roth account.
Well, up to $35,000.
Correct.
Right. Okay. But she's in great shape. You're happy. Everything's good. Excellent.
That is correct.
How old are you and how old is your wife?
I'm 64
Mm-hmm.
and my wife is 58.
When you are talking about retirement in 3 to 4 years, because you own your own company, I'm just wondering, what happens to the value of that company? Do you sell it to your employees? Do you just shut it down? How do you think about that?
That's a fantastic question. So we are in the process of putting a framework around this. The idea would be for two of the employees to gradually purchase the company, the assets of the company. And then using this framework, we would then hope to receive money from 2028 until about 2035, which is my RMD age.
Yes.
Of about $21,000 each. $21,000 for my wife and $21,000 for myself.
Okay. So 42 grand a year. Let's say if you just were kind of being really pessimistic and said, it falls through, it doesn't work. What would plan B be? Would it just be shut it down?
We would probably then sell it to someone else. We would not shut it down. It's a business that is depending. It's a neighborhood business, right?
Okay.
And probably because of the years that we have been in business, it's not so easy to say we're shutting the doors down.
I see. Okay. Okay, got it. All right, fine.
So someone will buy it, even if it is for $1. Someone will buy it.
Someone will buy it. It has some value. It'll be something.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So the business value at the moment is approximately $400,000, right?
Okay.
$400,000. So two separate shops, $200,000 each.
Okay, got it. And so right now, if you look at the 3 to 4 years, that would be continuing would the transition occur starting like next year, or would the transition would occur in 3 to 4 years and then continue until you're age 75?
That is correct. So it will be starting in early 2028.
I got you. Okay. Do you guys own your own home? I presume yes.
We do. We do own our home, and it's paid for.
How much is it worth?
It's about 1.5.
And any other property?
We do not have any other property except vehicles, but that's about it.
We'll get back to Kay in just a minute. You're listening to Jill on Money, and we will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. We do that by asking you to ask us questions. So if something's going on, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note. That's the email we receive. And if you'd like to join us live, check the box and Mark will do everything else. All of our content lives on our website. So there is a blog and there are links to 2 podcasts. You might want to subscribe to them. There's also video links. There are resources. There's the free weekly newsletter, which you should sign up for right now. Let's go back to Kay from Northern California. What do you think you need to live on?
In rough estimates, it will be about $10,000 a month.
Okay. What's your Social Security benefit look like? So
it depends on when I take it, right?
I know, I hear you, but let's presume you're not going to take it at let's look at 67 and 70 just for fun. Do you have longevity in your family, or are you any illness?
That's a fantastic question. Yes, there is longevity in my family. My grandfather passed when he was 95.
Oh my God, your grandfather!
Yeah, and then,
all right. So, what's your Social Security benefit at 67 and 70?
So, at 67, it's approximately, and this is just rough numbers from the website, right?
Yeah,
so,
sure.
67 is about $30,000 a year. Like $2,500 a month, which will then put my wife at 62, and hers is about $1,700.
Okay, and what about yours at 70?
Mine at 70 is a different number, but not by much. It's about $38,000 a year.
Well, wait a minute. That isn't a lot.
You think?
It's a lot. Well, only in that it's a guarantee. And it is an increase that, gives you that, about 8% a year almost for waiting. And it also gives you this interesting window of opportunity, I think, to start getting some of the money out of your retirement account. Because, look, we have an issue right now for you guys. I mean, you're in great shape. So big picture, you can do whatever you want. You can retire in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You got plenty of money.
Can they move to Spain? Because that's what they want to do.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. I mean, at $10,000 a month, I don't think that there's a big issue here. There are some looming tax issues that are floating around here because you've got that traditional IRA, right?
Right.
And that money has not yet been taxed. So there is as Ed Slott would call it, the ticking tax time bomb, which is, Uncle Sam is going to make you start taking money out of that account, as you know, at age 75.
Right.
My question is, should we start getting money out of that sooner? And should we be thinking about converting some of that? And if you actually do want to move someplace else or do some travel, or the 10,000 a month is really is really more like 15,000 a month, I guess the question is, should we convert some of that traditional money, or because he's got a ton of money in the brokerage account, or should we just start withdrawing some of it? The K1 distribution is something you probably have some control over, right?
Correct.
You probably have lots of expenses, and that's all well and good. If I looked at your bottom right-hand corner of your tax return, I wonder what it would say for your married filing jointly income. Would it be over 200,000? Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Okay. So that sort of makes you in your top bracket being 22%. The question is, should we start pulling money out over the next few years, before you're 75, and start paying the tax at 22, maybe make it 24%, and get the money out? Because the reason why this is the ticking tax bomb is that traditional IRA, if you don't start to get some of the money out, will compound.
Right.
And what will happen is you're young and you're healthy and you do have good life expectancy. So if we let that run for 10 years, Mark, what's a 1.7 million in 10 years without doing a thing to the traditional IRA? It's got to be, 3.5, 4, no?
It's definitely 3.
So
conservatively, it's 3.
Conservatively, it's 3. It's probably 3.5. And so if you think about it, like, let's look at it just for giggles. If
Sure.
you say, okay, it's $3.5 million, right? And the $3.5 million, we would be forced to, at your age 75, to take 140 grand out. Now, that 140 would be added to your Social Security benefit, which would already now put you in the 24% bracket anyway. I am saying that I think there is a rational approach to this that would try to take some of the money out of that traditional IRA so this problem does not continue to compound. If you want to move to Spain, or if you want to have a good time and you want to do this, I'd love for you to have some more of flexibility in terms of your lifestyle, which is fine. But also I want to make sure that we're not keeping on track to pay a huge, or not even have to. Like, of course, you don't have to pay the taxes that you have less control over the tax liability that you're incurring.
I follow.
Okay. So I think I would start thinking about that. And I would also maybe talk to you work with a CPA?
We do, yes.
I think you should talk to the CPA about this also, just in terms of, is there any reason why we should perhaps figure out how to defer some of that K1 income so you could take some more money out, or maybe keep a lid on it, or maybe it's reinvested. I don't know what. I'm really now making things up.
Sure,
but so that you could get more money out of your retirement account. But you could say to him, we're really trying to get some of the money out of our retirement account so that we stay in the top bracket of 24%. Can you help us plan around that? How would we do that? I think that's probably better than converting at this point. You've got 10 years, so you got time.
So the idea then, if I'm understanding this correctly, is instead of considering converting Roth money to a Roth account, just take the money directly from the traditional and do whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly right. So tell me more about the Spain adventure. I'm excited.
So,
what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Well, we try to live a little. So
yeah.
Our plan is to basically rent our home here in California, right?
Okay.
Then use that money or that income to cover the rent while we live in Spain.
Okay.
And it will probably be between 2028 and 2000. So 2 years. I ran some numbers, and we ran some numbers, and we realized that it's probably less expensive and even more fun to go to Spain, rent a place, then travel from Spain, use Spain as headquarters, if you want, the base, right?
Yeah, sure.
And from there, go via train, plane, automobile, whatever, to different places within Europe. right?
I love it. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy. Yes, you can rent out, but like rent to somebody you trust and don't try to like, you know what I mean? Like it's not so much you need to like stick to this very close budget. But
Right.
what you do need to do is make sure that no one is screwing with your nice $1.5 million asset, also known as your house, while you are out of the country. So to me, it would be more important. So less important that you extract the maximum amount of money. More important for sure that you are able to actually have somebody in there that you're like, okay, this is a real person. This is someone I trust. It's going to be okay. And like, do that instead because you have plenty of money at this point, man. You do.
All right.
You're in great shape. And I am not even counting the business. Like even if you had to fire sale the business for 200 grand today,
Right.
You're fine. It's all good. But the only thing that I see in here that's a little bit hanky is that time horizon on the retirement account that hasn't been taxed yet. And if you want to go out and do your fun thing in Spain, go for it. I think why not?
Yeah.
You've done the hard work, right?
It's true. It's absolutely true.
It's the Jill on Money Show, and we will be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to the website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, check the box, and Mark will do everything else. Now, while you're on the website, you're going to see a whole bunch of things there. Some of them cost money, some of them don't. But one of the things that definitely does cost money is my book, The Great Money Reset. And I love this book so much because it really came about from conversations with people like you, people who were going through big changes in their lives and wanted to know, how can I do what I want to do, make this big change, maybe retire, switch careers, change my housing situation? How can I do any of those things without blowing up my entire financial life? That's what the whole kernel of the Great Money Reset is all about. Bold steps to turn chaos into opportunity. So I encourage you to check out that book, a lovely gift for the holiday season. And certainly it would be great for somebody who maybe needs a little kick in the tush to stop talking about all the things they want to do and start doing them. I think so many times we're held back by the uncertainty of our decisions, and not that understanding the numbers is going to give you certainty about the emotional aspect, but at least if we deal with the numbers part, then you can deal with the emotions separately and put them in the right place. That's really the premise of the Great Money Reset. Okay, so now let's go talk to one of you. It's time to go to Cliff, who is joining us from Mississippi. Hello, Cliff. How can we help you today, sir?
Well, my main reason was reaching out to you to let you run my numbers to see if I'll be able to retire at 55.
How old are you?
51.
This is the second person in a row that we've talked to today who is 51 years old and is looking at retirement. And that is just remarkable to me. So, again, we've talked to a lot of people who are looking ahead and they're saying, oh, I'm going to work till I'm 60s or 70s. Why 55 for you, Cliff?
First of all, you can pull off your retirement accounts at 55. I've just kind of learned about that part. Secondly, I've had 2 forms of cancer, so there's more to life than being a slave to work.
You know what? That's a great reason. That really is. So you now are employed. How much do you earn?
Base salary of $146, and then with commissions, I usually average around $175 a year.
Okay. Are you married, single, partnered?
I'm widowed.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That stinks. On your 175 total, are you putting money into a retirement account?
Yes, ma'am. I max out my 401k every year. I max out a Roth IRA every year. I max out an HSA every year.
Wow. And the 401k, how much is in there?
Well, traditionally, I have 1.3 million.
In traditional. And what about the Roth?
300K.
And the HSA?
Right now, it's currently about 42,000.
This is great. Will you be entitled to a pension?
No, ma'am.
And any kids, grown kids you got to be worrying about? Someone who's depending on your income?
No, but I spoil my nieces and nephew.
Me too. I just had this conversation with somebody, said, you have no idea how great it is to be an aunt or an uncle, right? It's just great. It's like,
you can send them home.
Exactly. It's like the pressure's off. Cliff, do you have some money in just plain old savings, checking, CDs, some I-bonds, anything like that?
Yes, I have 185K in like a brokerage account. 40 or 50K in money market, and then probably 10,000 in just paper money in my safe.
Okay, very good. And what about your house? Is you own a home? Or are you renting? What's going on for you?
My home is paid for.
How much is it worth?
Probably $225.
You want to stay there? I mean, once you retire, is this the kind of place you can stick around for a while?
Plan to until maybe my parents died. I'm close to them. They're 20 minutes away. After that, may or may not, but initially, yes.
Okay. How old are your parents?
They're 80.
How's their health?
My dad's health is not so good. My mom's health seems to be okay. My dad's a smoker, so it's catching up.
That stinks. But they're okay financially? You don't have to help them out?
Yes, ma'am. We're all.
Okay, that's good. And you have siblings? Everyone's good, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, if I'm looking at how you're living your life today, Cliff, how much money do you need to live on?
All right. I live below the poverty level in the state of Mississippi. So
Stop it. You make all this money. Can't you have a little fun? You hear Mark laughing. Mark's busy Mark just put a big online dating profile up for you, Cliff. I hope you don't mind, because he's ready to marry you off. What are the expenses right now?
Are you including expenses like retirement, putting into retirement?
No, I mean living your life.
I could live on the expenses total about $1,350 a month.
Stop it. Come on, Cliff. Really? Can I get you to spend more money?
I think that's my electric bill.
Well, the South is cheap. I don't know. It's just kind of a game to me to see how much money can be left at the end. I guess I live paycheck to paycheck by choice. It's a game to see how much I can have left over. And
you're saying paycheck to paycheck, but you're putting a bunch of money in your retirement account, a bunch of money in your HSA, money in your brokerage account. You're saying paycheck to paycheck, and I am saving like crazy, right?
Yes, ma'am. I live on way less than 50% of my.
Okay. So even if I said $1,500 a month, that would be okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the question is, if you retire at age 55, what it sounds to me like you're thinking about is what we like to call the rule of 55, which is taking money out of your pre-tax account in substantially equal payments so that you can start pulling money out of that account. Is that what you're thinking?
Temporarily, there's a caveat here, too. There's more money coming in. My late wife has a retirement account through Social Security that I'll be able to get at age 60.
Oh.
Which will be, I called the other day, it's about $750. I also draw currently $500 a month from her PERS account, which is the educational system retirement system here in the state of Mississippi. So if you take the $1,500 it takes me to live on at age 60, there's $1,200 of it over and above what I have in retirement.
Interesting. We'll get back to Cliff in just a minute. If you would like to come on the air, go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here trying to help you make better and more considered financial decisions. Now, a lot of you come on the air and you want to talk about retirement. But when I scratch the surface of that sort of one line of your subject line in the email, what I often will find is that you don't want to stop working. What you want is control over your destiny, control over the way you live your next bunch of years. And sometimes when we're in jobs that we've been doing for a really long time, we become slaves to those jobs. Maybe you have an opportunity to do something different in your life. And if that's you, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. And when you write us that note, give us lots of details. If you'd like to join us on the air live, of course, we'd love to chat with you. All you need to do is check the box, and Mark will do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Cliff, who's on the line with us from Mississippi. The money that goes into your 401k right now, is that all pre-tax, or is that also part of the, is Roth 401k an option for you?
Yes, ma'am. Roth 401k is an option. I kind of split it. I do pre-tax to max out there. I do the catch-up being 50 years of older, so I do that in pre-tax. And then since I've maxed it out, my bonus and commissions I do in Roth, I've kind of started doing that a little bit. And then I, after I hit the 30,500 mark, I believe is the max, our company has that backdoor feature. So I come in and do after tax on that to take advantage of the max they give.
I mean, it's a weird thing. In some respects, I would say it's fine that you're doing all of this. You know, you're in good shape. You're fine. You can do whatever you want. I'm not even sure that you need to tap your retirement account at age 55. I'm not. In some respects, you know, maybe at 55, you know, could you, Mark, do you have to, when you trigger the rule of 55, Mark, do you have to do it for the whole account, or can you take some portion of it? Do you have to do it with a certain amount of money or not? That's my question.
Like take out a minimum?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a minimum that you have to take out. So you say, from what I remember, you can withdraw any amount that you choose. So
you can do that. All right, let's stay with that. So let's say you pull the money out that you need from the pre-tax account from age 55 to whenever you start getting your wife's those benefits, those 2 monthly benefits. And then you can just keep doing that because you're going to be in a lowish tax bracket. And then what's the game plan, considering that you have had two bad, you've had cancer twice? Do you think you're going to want to wait until age 67? Or are you basically on the other side of those cancer treatments and your life expectancy is okay? Like, what do you think?
Well, the doctors tell me I'm good. Obviously, one of them was colon cancer, so my follow-up there was clear, so I'm not terribly concerned there. The other one was melanoma, and I'm seeing a dermatologist, which will lead to a question I have is looking at the health insurance gap. After I retire, would you consider maybe getting on the health exchange insurance?
Yeah, totally. I would absolutely do that. I mean, look, is your plan at work a good plan? Do you like your work plan?
Yes, ma'am. And okay. Also, see, they offer us benefits. If I stay till 55, I'll get some type of health insurance supplement kind of thing.
That's good.
I hadn't looked into the details of that yet.
Yeah. I mean, so I would definitely think, so two things. Once you retire, you can go on COBRA for 18 months, which is you can just pay some amount of money and keep your insurance. If you go onto the exchange, I think for you, someone who has had, who has doctors and a pre-existing condition, no one's going to deny you. It's just you got to make sure you choose a plan where everyone's covered. Let's say it's not. Let's say you're like, I picked the silver plan and my dermatologist is on there, but my GI person is not, but I want to pay for that. You got plenty of money, man. You can afford this. So even if your expenses swell from $1,500 a month to, let's say, $2,500 a month from 55 to 65, just because we're going to throw insurance on there, you're in great shape. You're in absolutely great shape. So I would go on the exchange. I would look to do that, investigate at your company just what that healthcare benefit would be. And, you can talk to your folks down there who obviously have had people leave their companies. And a lot of friends may have said, like, oh, I went on the exchange. This is the one that's the good one. Don't go for the cheapest one because you have doctors that you like. And so you may want to pay up for that. You may want to pay up for, the highest coverage amount, given that you have conditions that you want to have consistency with your medical care. You've got so much money. You can stop playing the game. You can spend $3,000 a month. I don't care. I think that it would behoove you to just play the game of saying, like, well, how much of this can I spend? Isn't that fun? That would be a lot of fun, Cliff. I bet you're not wired that way.
No, ma'am, I'm not. I guess the next question going forward between now and say 55, how do you suggest me allocate money, like pre-tax, Roth? Would you start putting more towards Roth?
I would put everything into Roth.
Going forward.
Yeah, because that 1.3 that you have in the 401k that's pre-tax, it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And there's no reason to keep bulking that up. If you love your nieces and nephews and that's something really fabulous, it's great if they can inherit a Roth asset. You're not spending all your money. I can tell you right now. If you need another set of ears and eyes on a situation that you're contemplating, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, check the box. We'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are here answering financial questions, holding your hands, giving you a little boost when you need it, and maybe putting our arms around you metaphorically if you need a little bit of a financial hug or an emotional hug. When you're going through something, you need some help. This community is part of that help, and we honor that. We really do. We're so grateful that you listen every single week, and we are so grateful for those who come on the air with us and those who send us emails. It really is a testament to you, not us. You are the show, so thank you for that. Let's finish up with an email from Ella. Ella writes, I have a managed brokerage account with a big firm. There are now 35 different positions in the account, many of which comprise less than 1% of my total balance. I told my account manager that I didn't think that I really needed that many holdings, and he basically told me not to worry about it. Should I decide to discontinue having the account managed, I'd be left with a mess. What do you think? Should I just relax? Boy, I've heard this a lot, Ella, and I think it's a little bit more than anyone needs. Often these accounts are called separately managed accounts. There's a master plan. Somebody has all these holdings and they divvy it up per account. But you're right. It leaves you with a bit of a mess. And if the person that you're working with does not want to reduce the number of positions, maybe you should go look to work with somebody else. Because in my mind, all those individual positions, they might be opportunities to have tax loss harvesting, or maybe it's not a problem while someone else is managing it. But I agree with you. It could be a mess if something happened to you or you decided you want to discontinue this service with this organization. So here's what I think you should do. I think you should talk to other investment advisors. And if you need some help with that, get back in touch with us. We'd love to chat with you. I agree. 35 holdings, too many. Don't need it. Seems like overkill to me, and especially after you've actually talked to the person about it. If they're reluctant to do it, maybe time to hightail it out of there anyway. All right, that is the show. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web. Try to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.